All right, this is my persuasive speech. These are my audiences. Okay, picture this. It's a random Tuesday and you feel a sharp pain in your side that won't go away. You go to the ER because you're scared and it turns out to be your appendix. Routine surgery, you're home in a couple of days, relieved it wasn't something worse. And then 3 weeks later, the bill shows up. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not even a couple thousand. It's over $20,000. This isn't some rare horror story. It's happening to people like us. Researchers David Himmelstein, Deborah Thorne, Elizabeth Warren, and Steffi Woolhandler, 2009, found that 62% of all bankruptcies in the United States are tied to medical bills. And here's the part that should really scare you. Most of those people already had health insurance when they got sick. I'll be honest, before I started researching this topic, I thought universal health care was one of those political buzzwords people throw around without really knowing what it means. But once I actually sat down with the research, real peer-reviewed studies out of journals like The Lancet, the JAMA, and Health Affairs, I realized that it isn't just a talking point, it's a proven data backed solution, and that's what changed my mind. So, I don't know a single person in this room who hasn't felt that little jolt of panic looking at a medical bill or put off going to the doctor because they were worried about the cost. Maybe that's you right now. With insurance, you're not totally sure. With insurance, you're not totally sure actually covers what you need. Whatever your situation, this affects you because none of us get to choose when we get sick. So today I want to talk you through 3 reasons universal health care makes sense for all of us. It keeps us healthier, it saves us money, and it makes sure nobody gets left behind. So let's start with the one that matters most, staying alive. So here's something that surprised me. Countries with universal health care don't just cover more people, they actually keep people healthier. In 2018, a team led by Margaret Crook and colleagues studied health systems in 137 countries and published their findings in The Lancet. Their conclusion: expanding access to quality care could prevent millions of avoidable deaths every single year. Millions. And you'd think that means those countries are spending a fortune to get those results, right? Nope. That same year, a study in JAMA by Irene Papanikolaou and her team in 2018 compared the US to 10 other wealthy countries: Canada, the UK, Germany, Japan, and more. We spend almost double what they do per person on healthcare, double. And we still come out behind on life expectancy, chronic disease, and infant mortality. We're paying premium prices for a system that's underperforming while other countries get more for less. Okay, so it saves lives, but I know what a lot of you are thinking. Sounds expensive. So let's actually talk about costs. That is the part that really got me. Go back to that statistic I opened with. 62% of bankruptcies tied to medical bills. Most of those people already insured. That's not a coverage problem, that's a design problem. Our system is set up in a way where even having insurance doesn't fully protect you. And it's not just individual families losing money, it's the whole system. In 2020, Himmelstein, Campbell, and Woolhandler compared how much the US and Canada spend, not just one healthcare paperwork and bureaucracy, publishing their work. in the annals of internal medicine. The US spends almost $2,500 per person every year just on administration. Before a single dollar goes toward actually treating anyone, Canada spends $551. If we simplified our system the way they have, we could redirect hundreds of billions of dollars every year, money that could go straight into patient care instead of insurance and red tape. So it's better for our health, better for our wallets, but there's one more piece of this that I think matters the most. Right now, not everyone has the same shot at getting good health care in this country. And a lot of that comes down to two things people can't control, like their race or their income. In 2020, economists Thomas Bushmuller and Helen Levy studied what happened after the Affordable Care Act expanded Medicaid, publishing their findings in Health Affairs. They found that expanding coverage actually closes some of the racial and ethnic gaps in who has insurance and who can get care. More Black and Hispanic Americans were able to access the treatment they needed. Universal health care would take that even further. Your ability to see a doctor shouldn't depend on your job, your paycheck, or your zip code. It should just depend on the fact that you're a person and people get sick. So let's put this all together. The conclusion. Universal health care means fewer preventable deaths, less financial devastation for families like ours, and a system that actually works for everyone, not just the people who can afford it. So here's what I'm asking. Talk to your representatives. Tell them this matters to you. Register to vote if you haven't already. And when you do, keep this in mind. And honestly, just talk about it with your roommates, your family, your group chat. A lot of people still think this is a fringe idea, and it's not. It's backed by research and it's backed by results. Nobody should have to choose between paying rent and going to the doctor. Nobody should be one diagnosis away from bankruptcy. This isn't about politics. It's about making sure that when any of us get sick, we can focus on getting better, not on how we're going to pay for it. Thank you for listening. Very good. Yeah.